Hello Cancer, and welcome to your reading. My name is Colette, and this reading today is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy of Cancer. If you don't know where those placements are for yourself, Cancer, there will be a natal link in the description box down below, so you can go and check that out. It always helps to have some idea. You can get a bigger picture, you can look for where your moon is, go and look for the corresponding video that connects with your moon or your Venus. This is a love reading, so today I would recommend that you look at your Venus. If you don't know where your placement for your Venus is, it may be a good idea to go and check out that reading, and not just on my channel but also on any other tarot channels that you may watch as well. It just gives you a wider, broader picture. So I have two decks of cards for you, Cancer, and the cross watcher. So any cross watchers out there watching for a Cancer that you're in a relationship with, or you want to be, or you have been, just be aware that the energies can also be literally crossed over. You could actually be listening to your own story, but this is the deck of cards that I'm using for Cancer today. And this is for any cross watchers, or also for the person that you have the most energetic connection with at this time, Cancer. And that energetic connection can be a physical, a mental connection, it can be a sexual connection, it could be a spiritual connection, it can just be a supportive connection. But somebody who you have the most strongest bond with, or who has played the biggest part in your life at this time, that is being reflected, because the cards have been set out in 3 sets of 3. So it talks about your past energy, which can be your recent past, it can be childhood, it can be something that happened like a few years ago even, but basically it's a past energy that is still connected to you. You are still energetically carrying that energy with you, and it's creating your present energy as well, which is the middle deck of 3 cards, and then we move on to the future deck of three cards as well. So your present will create your future energy as well. So it's all about the kind of connection between the past, the present and the future. So I'm starting the reading off with, in fact, 2 cards. It will be 3 cards. Usually it's just 1 card that I choose from the suit of cups that I take from a particular tarot deck. This time round I'm using my Goddess tarot deck, and we have these 2 cards that have come out together, which seems to be a bit of a theme going on at the moment. 2 cards rather than just the 1. We have the Princess, or the Knight as it would normally be known, of Cups, and we also have the 5 of Cups here as well. And at the bottom of the deck here we have the 8 of Cups. So the overall energy, which is why I choose these cards, or this card, the cards that come out for you, the overall energy, as I was meditating on the cards and the Cancerian energy, the words that came out very strongly was bittersweet, and I think that's implying this cup here, this cup of love that has been drunk from Cancer. This could be your energy, this could be the person that you have an energetic connection with, but the words bittersweet came through very strongly. And so I feel as though there has been a very strong connection with somebody here. Somebody who you expected a lot more from, possibly, Cancer. And that their love was bittersweet. Something you weren't expecting, because with the 5 of Cups here as well, it very much feels as though, if you look, she's kind of wrapped herself in this cloak, and it's like she's kind of protecting herself from the harshness of what's happening around her, like with these cups that are spilled behind her. And next to her there are 2 cups that are still standing, but she's not really looking at any of them. For me today, this card has a very strong connection with the 5 of Pentacles card as well, where you're feeling very much out in the cold. And I feel as though you're kind of feeling very alone, very lonely. The 5 is a card of sadness, sorrow, regret even. But it just has a really strong energy of loneliness about it today. And with the 8 of Cups at the bottom as well, it's kind of saying that there has been something that you've walked away from. We have the King of Earth on the bottom of your deck that I'm using for you. The King of Earth being a very strong, very practical, very, I was seeing him as a kind of very wisdom orientated energy. Somebody who's learning or has learnt a lot. There's something very, very ancient about this card to me. He always looks like an ancient energy of very kind of knowing, knows a lot, is connected to an understanding of how things work, how the world works, how like the environment, the earth. It's that kind of energy. It's a very, very earthy energy. And that's on the bottom of this deck. But on the bottom of the person you've got a connection with, we have the 2 of Cups here. So that is also implying that there has been this strong connection between 2 people, you and another person, Cancer. In reverse, it's kind of saying to me, with this cross down the middle as well, I always see this as kind of the star-crossed lovers card. And I think that's why this bittersweet connection comes in as well. That it was something that maybe you were both hoping was going to bring a lot more happiness rather than the sadness and the sorrow that I feel it has. And also they've got the 8 of Cups below that as well. So there is this definite energy of maybe both of you walking away from each other, maybe you both kind of coming to an arrangement or an agreement on something. Anyway, we'll start off with the first card, which is the 8 of Air. And today I'm seeing this literally as your world being turned upside down. Kind of a shock energy, unexpected. Could be something that happened out of the blue, but it kind of, I feel as though it kind of left you in this place of not really knowing what you were doing, what your options were. So I'm just looking, there's kind of a pattern in the cards there as well, which I've never seen before, so that's very interesting. I like it when things like that come through. Yeah, it's like something that was obscured that became known. I don't know if you can see that pattern in that clouds. Just here, there's like some form of pattern. And it's kind of, I've seen it as the clouds kind of parting and kind of showing you this something that was like not seen before is how it's coming through. But there is just this real strong sense of a situation where you felt that your world was upside down. And then from there we have the Queen of Earth as well. And the Queen of Earth goes very strongly with this King of Earth here as well. So I feel as though, Cancer, you've been in this place, or it put you into a place of real, like, from going from this sense of having your world turned upside down and not really knowing what was happening, and then something kind of clearing, and you got very kind of determined and strong about something. Like this strength came in, this inner strength, this inner kind of determination for stability. Possibly that's what it's about, from going from this real sense of like not knowing what was happening next, where you were going to be next, or even a sense of just kind of throwing everything up in the air, just throwing it all up in the air and seeing where it all landed, in a sense. Which made everything very unstable. And maybe that's where you've been for a while, was in that unstable energy, but you're coming out, or you did come out of that, because there is this very strong character here, the Queen of Pentacles. I always think her chin is so very kind of determined and very, it is the energy of the earth signs, as is this one, the Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn energy, all very determined. There's also a very strong sense here of like, don't mess with me, is coming through. Because we also have the Eight of Cups here as well. So I do feel as though something was definitely walked away from, because you've got this come out twice, and they also have it in this card here as well, on the bottom of the deck under the 2. So something was definitely walked away from, like you were determined to, like you turned your back, is how it's coming through. You turned your back on whatever this situation here was. Whatever took away your stability, it feels, whatever kind of threw you in a loop or threw you up in the air, you turned your back on it. You became very strong. It feels like an inner strength here, a very determined inner strength to walk away and to leave something behind. And it kind of gave you that inner strength to do that. Even though it's in reverse, there is a feeling here that it was reluctant. It wasn't something that you were happy about, shall we say. Not something that you really wanted to be doing. But at the same time, it's like she is looking towards this energy. She's looking towards a sense of the future in a way. Like, I'm leaving this and I'm having to find a new direction. But I feel as though even though you had to do that, there was still this kind of pull backwards. There was still this kind of connection there with this person. For some of you, it could have been having to kind of, if you were married to this person, or if you'd been living with this person a long time, there could have been a sense of having to kind of divide what was yours and what was theirs. A real sense of separation is what I'm getting. A real sense of separation from something. But it's taken you into this place where you are today, which is a sense of kind of finding your own spark, shall we say, your own connection to everything, which is possibly what I was getting with this King of Earth here as well. your connection to everything. It's kind of waking up, realizing that this kind of energy here is what's important, and this is about you carrying something forward, carrying something with you into your future. This is all past energy. All of these coins around here, they've all been kind of successful, shall we say, endeavours, things that have made you who you are today. They don't have to be a physical thing. It can be to do with like, it just feels like successful endeavours, things that you've done, things that you've achieved, things that you've put your time and your energy and your effort into making work for you, and reaching this point of feeling like I'm successful, but also okay, also about not looking back at what you've achieved, looking ahead, seeing how far you've come, and rather than kind of looking forward and thinking that, oh, you know, there's so much more I still need to do, it's like saying you've come this far, you've come a long way, you've come much further than you thought you've come even. You've achieved a lot more than you are aware that you have achieved. It all depends on how you see achievement, how you see success. It doesn't have to be in monetary terms. And I feel as though this is also about you taking care of you as well. It's one of the things that you've learnt is the importance of self-awareness, self-value, being able to sustain yourself even through times of difficulties and hardships. That you are protected, that you are safe, that even though when your world seems to fall apart, you do emerge out of it stronger. Is what I'm getting from this. There is growth. Because at the very centre of your reading, and I see the centre card as being the most important card because that's where I see the energy coming out of and kind of going into, we have the Hermit energy here. It's interesting because today the Hermit energy, there's a little face in this door here. If you can see, maybe if I put it up that way you'll be able to see it better. There we go. There's a little face, and I always think of it as kind of trying to get out of this door, especially when it's kind of in reverse. It's but what I'm seeing today, before I get sidetracked on something else, is this face here in this door. It's coming through quite a strong presence of what you have been learning, but the Hermit card is in reverse. So it could also be saying that you've been in this energy a long time. You're kind of becoming stuck here. You're stuck. It's like you've gone through this, I always see it as a graduation, the Hermit energy. It's like going within and graduating, becoming more wise. Again, this kind of connection with this wisdom, this King of Earth energy. And it's kind of saying to me that it's time for you to come out of this energy. It's time for you to leave this Hermit energy and kind of bring out what it is that you've learnt, the wisdom that you now have. Because I feel as though you've very kind of closed off in this energy with this Hermit. It's like you've really kind of closed down in a way. but that has been part of the process of discovery, self-discovery. Because when you come out from this energy, it's like stepping into this newfound love for yourself, this newfound idea of love, and that it's not just about kind of pain. Because this could also be a cycle of patterns that you've been going through here, Cancer, and you're kind of realizing, and now you've kind of stepped beyond that. You've kind of realized it, you've worked through it on some level. Although you are reluctant to come back out, it feels like you're almost like in your comfort zone, which Cancers can be very much being the crab. It's kind of like, you know, you withdraw into your shell and you don't want to come back out again because it's safe there, it's secure there, and kind of a sense of stability. But the Hermit card is also saying that it's actually, it's a false sense of security, because you're isolating away. You're closing yourself off from experience, from learning more. You actually have to get out into the outside world and do something with it. And there could be, with this connection, it could be there's somebody here that you want to start this love with, share this love with. Give somebody your pearl or your Ace of Cups as it normally would be. On this, it's actually just a pearl. Which is very much kind of related to the moon as well, and the emotions. A pearl always reminds me of the moon energy. And it's interesting as well, because etched on this pearl there is actually a horse and a warrior. It's kind of saying that, you know, to bring out this warrior side of your own nature. In the sense of what am I getting? It feels like a strength. That love is a strength, it's not a weakness. It's a strength to be able to open your heart up. Is a strength. It's not a weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. And as we go from this energy here, we have the Pegasus energy with the Ace of Swords. So we have two aces here, and this is the future energy that we're moving into here. And it's like liftoff is how I'm seeing it come through. It's like liftoff. It's like something kind of has got you excited, or like the Ace of Swords. Both aces are new beginnings. Aces are new, always a new beginning, a new energy that comes in, a new idea. Or with the Ace of Swords, it can be an idea. With the Ace of Cups, it can be the opening, as I was saying, opening your hearts, new love of life. But it definitely feels like a lift-off energy, and it feels like this pearl here, as I was talking about, this warrior energy. It's like taking flight, it's like having wings, rising above, leaving the past behind, rising above something, seeing something clearly. It does feel similar to this, as I was saying, this warrior energy. It's like something that's going to kind of get you fired up or lit up. Interesting how the two kind of connect together, but also they are very opposite as well in a way, because the mind is, you know, the thinking, and this is the emotions. So it's like a connection, and yet at the same time it's also very different energies, because the mind can take us down all sorts of paths and kind of places that we don't necessarily want to take ourselves. But it feels like you've become, like you've mastered this in a way, like you're much stronger mentally, you're much stronger. And maybe that's also got something to do with this Hermit energy as well. After the Ace of Swords, we have the Call card. Which way round? So it's that way round. Again, there's kind of these wings, and there's something that is calling. It feels like something that is taking flight, something very new, something very kind of alluring, something that's very, like, you can't ignore it. Whatever it is that's coming in, you can't ignore it. Call to action, maybe. It's interesting when I put them together. It's like almost like this here is aligned with this trumpet here that she's blowing. It's almost like an energy source that's coming through, and it's kind of connecting you and it together. It's kind of saying, like, you know, this is something that is much bigger than you. You can't ignore it. It's it just feels like a new sense of direction, a new energy, something very kind of vital, a vital energy about it. And it is, I was saying, if you see that she's kind of playing that trumpet there. I presume this is supposed to be Angel Gabriel, who also holds this message in her hand here as well. You can see that she's holding this message here in her hand, which is yet to be revealed to you. And maybe that's what's happening. Something is being revealed, because this light just seems to go directly, sorry about the glare here, directly in line. Almost like you are coming out, expressing yourself very strongly, expressing your newfound sense of you, this new you. So after that we have the High Priestess, but she has come out in reverse. High Priestess is about your intuition. It's about your knowing something. I'm also seeing it again a bit like this Hermit energy as well, this hidden face, because it looks like she's kind of emerging out of something, just like this Hermit is emerging out of the door here. It looks to me like she's emerging out of somewhere, like It's almost like a new again, there's wings here as well. I've never really noticed these. She's got wings on the side of her face here. Not easy to see. These wings here. And then there's wings like coming off of this third eye here as well. So it's talking about okay, it's kind of saying that, you know, don't ignore your intuition. Remember your intuition. Remember to kind of check in every now and again, Cancer, to see how it's going. Remember where you're going, but to check in with yourself here, to stay connected with your intuition, your knowing, your knowledge, your wisdom, your inner, everything that you've learned. It's like, don't kind of take it for granted, or don't let it kind of submerge. Don't let it be ignored, is how it's coming through. Remember what you've learnt. The words I'm hearing is don't give yourself away too easily, is what's coming through. Don't give yourself away. Whatever situation that you're jumping into, kind of remember to stay connected with yourself, with who you are, with your authentic self. Because this card also came out with this as well, the Messenger of Fire. And in reverse as well, the Messenger of Fire can also have a warning here. The Messenger being the Knight of Fire can be very much an energy of overdoing things. Of not taking notice of the warning signs, maybe, is also something that's coming out here. Don't ignore the warning signs. Because you've come a long way. And you're kind of ready to express. Again, this kind of Hermit and the High Priestess in reverse is interesting. They're both kind of inner searching, soul searching energy here as well. Soul searching. Going into the depths of things, going deeper, reflecting. Don't get carried away. Don't get kind of like, these wings are really kind of sticking out for me today. This idea of being kind of carried off too far from where it is that you were originally trying to get to. Remember the source energy of where it was that you came from. As in what you've learnt somehow. The lesson behind it all. Don't allow the lesson to be easily ignored, possibly. Or not recognised. So we have the 5 of Swords over the top of this 8 of Air. I also had these cards come out as well, and I'm not sure whether to take them or not. 5 of Swords, very much an energy of conflict, competition, feeling like you're on a battlefield, an energy of somebody acting in a kind of callous manner as well is what's coming through. Not being aware of their own actions at the time, or if they were aware of their own actions, they were not very nice actions. They were actions that were painful. Almost kind of heartless is what's coming through here. Yeah, because you have the Fool in reverse as well with this energy, the Fool in reverse. So for me, when the Fool's in reverse, it's kind of saying here that this was an energy of no direction. How can I put it? Not just no direction, but somebody who was possibly acting out of character, or the Fool is usually an energy of innocence, of somebody who's very innocent in what they're doing, but today, because it's come through here, it almost feels like there was a game plan or something behind this. Somebody was very aware of what they were doing, but they couldn't stop. It was like they just, like this Fool energy just kept taking them into this same place. And with the 3 of Cups here as well, which can be seen as an energy of reconciliation, it may have been that they would go through this and then they would want to reconcile with you, and then they would go through it again and again, they'd want to reconcile. Or make things better, or kind of make you realise, or try to make you realise that it was for the best, that you'd be because they've got the 10 of Pentacles here as well, so I feel as though it was somebody who was kind of trying to, it feels like 2 very different energies coming out here. Somebody who would at one moment be very argumentative and difficult and kind of childlike or childish, coming from an energy of immaturity and not in some ways taking responsibility for their actions. And then they would try to do this kind of reconciling thing and kind of convince you that everything was very stable and very nurturing energy, and that they could give you what you needed, and that you would work better together rather than apart. But with the Knight, oh sorry, not the Knight, with the Death card at the end here, it does feel as though something just ended, which is why I feel that, you know, with the 8 of Air here in reverse as well, that this ending was what kind of threw it all out for you. It kind of threw your world upside down. It was like everything was just thrown up in the air. like I said earlier, almost like, you know, throw it up in the air and let's see where all the pieces land type of energy. So I'm actually going to give these a shuffle. So, Cancer. Oh, before I forget, cusp Cancer, you're going to be coming out of the Gemini energy. So if you're 0 degrees of Cancer, you will be coming out of Gemini energy and you'll be moving into the Cancer energy. So you may have some Gemini traits. You may want to check out the Gemini Reid that I've just done as well. Also, if you are the other end, you're going to be 29 degrees moving into the Leo energy as well. So you may well have some very strong Leo traits, and you might want to check out the Leo reading that I will be putting up after I have done this reading. Okay, jumped out at me. So over the top of the Queen of Earth, this person has the 3 of Pentacles. So it does feel as though, because this is talking about working together, like teamwork, building on something, creating something, adding to something, making something more than it was, but it's in reverse. So it does feel as though this energy, you turned your back on this, whatever this was. It could have been a family situation, it could have been the relationship itself, it could have been the dynamics within a home environment. Again, this could be a friend situation as well. It could be somebody who you, for those of you who have a strong connection with somebody as a friend, but it does feel very much more like a personal love connection here. So Cancer, you turned your back on that, working with this person, working through the relationship with this person, it feels like as well. You may have also, if you were a couple, you may have withdrawn your financial support with this person. Or they may have done that for you. But definitely it feels as though there was this kind of separation of energies here. Okay. Yeah, so with the 8 of Water here, you were closing out this cycle. You were finishing something off here. Something was ending, something was coming to a close, and you walked away. And this person I mean, it feels very much as though this was how it was meant to be for both of you. They also have the 9 of Pentacles as well, straight after the World. So they may also have become a lot kind of stronger in themselves and their self-confidence and their self-esteem. They may have built up their own financial or their own well-being on some level. Which is why it feels that this was definitely something that was meant to be. But then from there we also have the 9 of Swords. So this person also, again, it's kind of, one minute they're kind of happy and they're like self-esteem is high and they're on their own and they're happy to be on their own and they're strong. in their own strength. But then with the Nine of Swords, there's this energy where they're actually kind of realizing the loss here, or the kind of what it was that maybe even their own behavior. This is a card of nightmares. This is a card of like all the possible things. Like it's a card of darkness, of being in a dark place, of being in an unhappy place, of not being able to see the light. In that sense, not being able to see your own self-worth or recognizing. And we also have the King of Rods here as well. So it does feel as well that to start with, when you first walked away from this energy Cancer, this person was kind of okay about it. They closed out the cycle. They were okay about it, but then kind of it got to them. Because the King of Rods here as well, I always see him as being quite a kind of unhappy character somehow. Or deep in thought. And when it's in reverse as well, the King of Rods energy talks about somebody who's got this very strong, creative, magnetic personality. And that could also be one of the reasons, or what partly the reason that you were attracted to each other. You could have both had this very strong sexual magnetic connection. But when it's in reverse, the King of Rods is very, it's like a fire that's subdued. It's like somebody who's not in their power. They're not happy. They're not creative. They're just kind of sitting in this, almost like this energy here is just feeding that flame of unhappiness. They're not able to see a way out of things. As I was saying, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel here. It put them in a dark place. And I feel as well that it didn't take that long for them to realise going from the Nine of Pentacles to the Nine of Swords, almost like a sudden kind of flip, like a switch, but kind of just turned from one energy to the next energy very, very quickly. A sudden realization of what had actually happened. And we have the Two of Rods over the top of your Nine of Earth. So they are kind of in this place of wondering what they're going to be doing next. They're holding the world in their hand. They are aware of it, but they're not actually looking at it. It almost feels like they're kind of despondent about it in a way. They're not quite sure how to step forward, how to move forward, how to make something work for them, how to bring something to life here. But there's also an energy here which makes me think, you know, that they know on some level that they have to do this. Maybe as they see you getting stronger, Cancer, as they see you kind of becoming more determined, more confident, more self-aware, aware of your own self-worth, who you are, finding your own value in yourself and your environment and what you're doing. This person, I feel, is also kind of having to think creatively about what it is that they want to do. I also feel as well that they're still kind of looking out onto the horizon to see whether or not you are still there. Are you still a part of their world? Waiting, hoping. Maybe that you will come and take up this other rod that's behind them here as well. Or maybe even like holding that rod safe for you. Feels like this person still wants to have your energy around them. They still want that energy in their life. Cancer. It kind of feels as though they've kind of come into that awareness of how they are better off with that energy than without it. And with the sun kind of setting, it feels in the background as well. It feels like, you know, it's another day without kind of energy. Another day when you're not there. Okay. Off the table. Typical. Let's see if I can get it like that. Oh, what have we got? Ha! We have the sun. In the centre, over the top of your Hermit energy. So as I was saying previously, like this person not being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sorry. That the light had gone out. Just have a quick slurp. Ah, that's better. Quick slurp of my cider vinegar. It's like they have realised that they need to find their happiness within themselves. And that's kind of what they're aiming for. They're aiming for their own happiness. They're aiming for what it is that makes them lit up, what it is that brings them happiness and sunshine and joy and all the things, all the good things in life. This is what this person wants. This is what this person, I feel, is aiming for. Because I think they're also realising that relying on somebody else for this does not work for them, doesn't work for anybody. But it's like they're kind of coming to that conclusion here, Cancer. But there could also be an element here as well of seeing you as their sunshine. Is what's just come through. You are my sunshine. With the sunflowers there as well. It's very much a card of kind of looking for the sun, looking for the light. Sunflowers kind of follow the sun around. So it could be a feeling or an awareness, like, you know, the lights kind of went out of their life when you walked out here, Cancer. Whether or not you have connection with this person, I don't know at this time. Some of you may still be in contact. Some of you may have completely closed the door or feel as though the door has been closed on you. Interesting. Okay, so over the top of your Ace of Water or Ace of Cups here, this kind of warrior energy that is coming back to life for you, Cancer, and realization that, you know, this is your strength rather than your weakness. This person has the Nine of Rods. They have the Chariot in reverse, and they have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So they are still kind of in this struggling energy here. Struggling, I feel, with themselves. They are quite defensive as well, or guarded. Defensive, guarded, not necessarily wanting to give too much away here. They may also be, how can I put it, like knocking back any other kind of interest in them. So anybody else who's come forward to kind of ask them out on a date, or they've kind of knocked them back. Kind of like, no, I know what I want. And with the Chariot here as well, there is this kind of feeling that this person doesn't want to move on at this time, and they are in a situation of trapping themselves because of this as well. So they're not wanting to take up any other offer. They're kind of keeping everything else at bay here, even though it may not be easy for them to do. They're definitely not wanting to take anything any further. They're very determined to stay stuck in the energy that they're in, because with the Eight of Swords here as well, they are keeping themselves trapped in that energy. And it could well be because they are still very much focused on your energy. At this time, Cancer. But with the Eight of Swords here, it's very much a self-deceptive energy in a way, and very much a kind of place of putting themselves in that energy of, feels like nobody else like it's not what I want. Nobody else is going to make up for my Cancer. Like that's the only energy that I want to move forward with. And I will stay stuck, I will stay in this energy until such time as things change. So it does feel as though there's been a real kind of turnaround in the energy here. And over the top of your ace, they have the 8 of rods, 8 of fire, which is normally or can be seen as a card of communication, like incoming communication, but it can also be a card of like where life is going well for them. They feel uplifted. They feel as though like after this energy here, they feel as though they're kind of just enjoying life. They're just going to go along with the ride, basically, is how it's coming through. They're just going to kind of just not try and make anything happen, not try and force a situation. If things change, if anything does change, they're open to it. They will be there for that change. So if your energy is about this person, if you are kind of wanting to reconnect with this person, Cancer, with this new love energy here, then they are open to it, is how it's coming through. They are open to it. They're open to something new. They're open for new communication, maybe. Putting the past in the past. Allowing things to change. It just feels like this person is kind of just getting on with things, just kind of doing what they need to do, and just kind of, it does feel kind of waiting kind of energy, but at the same time not necessarily just waiting. Just doing what they need to do. I feel as though they have a strong belief on some level that it's going to work out, that things will. That's interesting as well, because they also have the Ace of Swords here over the top of this energy of the call. So as I was saying, I feel as though they are open, like, you know, new beginnings, a new start, something, this calling, this something that can't be ignored, possibly between the two of you. Yeah, it just feels like this lift off energy, as I was saying, like this lift off, this kind of like, right, okay, let's go, let's do it, let's kind of bring in this new idea, this new time for change, time for something different, time to cut out the old. Time to listen to the higher calling, time to take note of something that is beyond us, like there's something bigger, there's something almost like universal energy is how it's coming through, because the call is also judgment card. Can also be about forgiveness. But this Ace of Swords today is coming through for me with this kind of sense of victory as well, with this wreath over the top of it, like crowned. It's almost like the communication that's here is kind of very rewarding, whatever this is about. It feels like there's something very rewarding about it. And she's going to open up this new communication, especially if you haven't communicated with this person for some time. Interesting. Over the top of the High Priestess and the Messenger of Fire, we have the Devil energy. So I feel what's coming through here is that this is about something that can't be ignored, like, because it's kind of what's separating between the two of you, or what has been separating between the two of you. And maybe this is what the High Priestess energy here is also saying, that you can't ignore this energy. As I was saying before, something about kind of checking in with your feelings, your intuition, your knowing. And it's coming through as something that needs to be looked at, acknowledged. It's like an interfering energy between the two of you. It's like it's not from you, it's not from them, Cancer. It's like an interference energy. There's something kind of outside of this, which kind of brings up a lot of problems or fears, and I don't feel as though it's been communicated. I don't feel as though it's been spoken about. So that could also have something to do with these Ace of Swords energies as well. But it feels as though something needs to be cut through, something needs to be cleared out, released, let go of. Otherwise, it's like the past will just kind of creep back in again if it's not recognised, if it's not dealt with. The energy with the Messenger of Fire as well kind of feels as though you could like be constantly looking back over your shoulder here, questioning your intuition. Is it the right thing to do? Isn't it the right thing to do? But this Devil energy is kind of saying to me that it needs to be resolved. You can't ignore it any longer. if that's what you've been doing, Cancer. I'm going to put another card with this Devil energy. Let's see why the Devil energy is here, please, for Cancer and the person they are connected to. Yep, it's stopping. It's stopping this new initiating energy, this new like the Ace of Rods. It's like stopping this beginning. It's stopping something very creative, very passionate and fiery, and very positive, very life affirming. It's like this energy here is what's keeping it from being able to flourish, is how it feels. Almost like a part or a side, an energy of this person that hasn't been allowed to flourish previously, possibly. A part of themselves that you may not have been aware of or seen in this person, Cancer, because of this energy that just caused a lot of problems. Devil can be to do with addiction, it could be to do with toxic energy, like negative energy, arguments, which obviously there has been in the past. But it's like the potential is there for this relationship, I feel. But the potential is very strongly there. Okay, we have two cards come out for you, Cancer. First one is work and the second one is gratitude. So these are kind of advice cards. Work is saying, I am now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide. And that's very much a kind of Cancerian energy, in fact. Cancer does like to kind of throw themselves deeply into their work. And that is possibly also something that you did when your world turned upside down, that you went very much and buried yourself in this very kind of physical realm of working and stability, security. Looking for that stability and that security, and you found it within your work. And with the Hermit energy as well, you could well have just buried yourself in there. But we also have gratitude here as well, which is saying, find just one thing that you feel grateful for right now, and let that gratitude pour through your body. It's a healing balm, like the warmth or the sun. Which is interesting because they've also had the sun energy come out for them here. This person, cross watcher, person you've got a strong energetic connection with. And the sun is also over the top of your Hermit energy as well. Which is what I feel this card also connects to. So, quite interesting connecting energies. One more card for you, Cancer. We'll just pull a Angel Oracle card. See what the messages from the angels are for you at this time. The Cancer and the person that Cancer has an energetic connection with, please. Cancer and the person that Cancer has an energetic connection with. Sun, Moon, Venus, rising and cusp energy of Cancer, and the person they have an energetic connection with. That kind of didn't feel right, but two of them again. Okay, honesty and communication, which has come out in reverse. So that's very kind of important. It's an important message. It's saying take notice of it. And signs and reminders. Two very beautiful cards. So, signs and reminders. Honesty and communication, which is what I feel that all this kind of bottom row here is about. The future energy that you're stepping into feels like that kind of energy. Honesty and communication, something kind of lifting up, lifting off. And with the devil energy here, as well as I was saying, like this energy being the source of what's kind of stopping things from coming together. So there's a need here for you to have that honest communication. So the message is you are being given an opportunity to speak your truth. You have reached a point on your journey where you must be honest with yourself and all those around you. If you are holding anything in or feel you need to share something in order to feel free, know that your angel guide is encouraging you to act on this now. When you share your feelings and speak truthfully, you draw the support and light of the universe from your into your heart. I was just thinking of this here, this kind of light, which I was seeing connected to this cool card as well. If you are in a challenging position and find it difficult to communicating what is in your heart, call in angels and ask them to support you. They want you to know that when you speak with honesty, you attract experiences that lovingly reflect who you really are. Which I feel is this energy here as well, with the Ace of Cups. This newfound sense of love, your kind of spiritual warrior energy, shall we say. So extended message, which I will read because it was upside down. So this is the bit that's most important here. If you feel a person or situation is making you lose a sense of yourself or drawing you away from joy, it's time to speak up and to make sure that you are heard. You are being guided to begin by lovingly connecting with your own heart to home in on your honour, that what you want for yourself and your life. I'm going to read that again. You are being guided to begin by lovingly connecting with your own heart to home in on and honour what you want for yourself and your life. Take time to reflect on what is important to you, where you want to direct your energy and what your priorities are for the next phase of your journey. It may be that you are fighting against the flow, and it may be that you are fighting against the flow and not wanting to admit to yourself that something is holding you back or dampening your spirit. But angels love you and want you to know that honesty is the best policy for you now. Which is what I feel this card is, this kind of honesty trumpet. Okay, that's the connection here. So I was saying that there's something that was kind of connecting these two energies. It's kind of blasting it out, this honesty and this truth. It's like you're getting to a point, Cancer, where you can't hold it back anymore. You've got to kind of come out with it and say exactly whatever it is that you're wanting to say or feeling at this time. Okay, so signs and reminders. Where are we? Signs and reminders. Angels and loved ones in heaven are sending you signs of their presence now. You may be seeing the same number, patterns or sequences, finding feathers, seeing the same birds at special times, or even feeling that you're being visited by a loved one or angel in dreams or at some point in your day. These are all messages of support. You are on the right path, and you are being guided to know that you do not walk this path alone. In times of need, angels are beside you, blessing your heart with love and healing. And your angels and loved ones in heaven will never leave you. Their love will never die. Angels, so the extended message is, angels love to send us signs, because often we're not in a space where we can fully listen to their guidance. Most of the time because we're too busy or not willing to listen to the messages we hear on the inside, and signs catch our attention. They remind us that our angels and loved ones in spirit are with us and willing to help us. If you have ever found yourself questioning certain events or signs, it's because somewhere within you, you don't feel fully adequate or worthy of the love that is being shown to you. Know that you are worthy. When you receive a sign, there is an important step that you must take in order to usher miracles into your life. Call in help. A sign is a message that help is available, so welcome it in with an open heart. So those are your messages for today, Cancer. I'd just like to say thank you very much for listening, watching my reading. I hope that it has been of some help to you, and I also hope that you have managed to find something within it that has kind of, I don't know, illuminated a part of you or something. It's kind of like, it feels like a big message, Cancer, somehow. It feels like a big message that's being given to you here today. So with that being said, I will just say, please could you thumbs it up for me if you have found anything of interest or have learned anything from the reading itself. Please thumbs it up, because it kind of helps to grow my channel for me. It really helps to grow my channel for me, because the more thumbs it gets, the more it gets put out into the bigger kind of world of YouTube, and more people can actually get to see my message and also come back to my channel. It's all down to the algorithms on YouTube. So the more thumbs up it gets, it kind of like the algorithm sees that and says, oh, this is a video that people like to watch, so we'll put it out there and get it onto other channels where it could be recommended. And it's been shown that the more recommended a video is, the more likely people are likely to watch it and come back to the channel as well. So with all that being said, thank you very much those of you who have liked my videos, and thank you very much those of you who have subscribed to my videos. If you have, or subscribed to my channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, please could you do so. There is a subscription button that you can press, the little bell comes up, and you can choose as to whether or not you want to get my videos on a daily or weekly or whatever reminder. So I haven't been doing anything for a while, admittedly. I had a Saturn and Mars Mercury square, which happened like almost instantly after doing the Saturn and Jupiter video, which was the last video I did, the connection between the two of them, big conjunction, back in December. And then everything just stopped for me, just like all kind of just like completely stopped. So I just went with the whole energy that I was feeling at that time, and now that's kind of passed and I'm back being able to do the readings again. So I'm doing all the zodiac signs, all the full moon, all the new moon readings, both the astrology and the tarot as well. There is a playlist on my site if you're interested in looking at any of the other videos. There's no time or dates on any of them because like crap happens all the time, so it's not something that kind of you can say yes for this and this and this, so to speak. They've all got titles on them, so if you have a look and if any of the titles kind of jump out at you, then maybe it's worth having a look. And if you do, I would really appreciate you thumbsing them up for me as well. It just makes a big difference. So with all that being said, Cancer, I'm going to finish and say thank you again very much for listening, and please take really good care of yourselves and take good care of anybody else around you at this time. Hopefully see you again soon.